lesson is all about T-spine mobility. T-spine being the thoracic spine back here, right? So what I have here is a PVC rod from Lowe's. It's 3/4 of an inch in circumference, but you can get one that's a little bit thicker if you want to, but don't go thinner than that because it'll be too flexible and you don't want it to be that flexible. I also have a foam roller right here. And I'm going to hold this between my feet and my knees. And I'm going to clasp it really tightly. And from the side here, you'll see that I have a 90-degree angle. 90 degrees at the hips, 90 degrees at the knees, 90 degrees at the ankles. And I'm squeezing this together very firmly. What that does, squeezing that, it turns off your lumbar, so your lumbar won't rotate. You're going to take this rod, put it behind your shoulder blades and your trapezius, so right here. And then your hands are going to go over the front of it, like that. Okay? You're going to look straight ahead. And the most important thing for this being effective is squeezing this. And you also want to make your hands really long. So I'm trying to touch both sides of the room here. I'm trying to reach. And now I'm going to rotate. Now if I let this go and I don't pay attention to this, then my lumbar rotates, right? You can see how that opens up here. But if I hang on to this very tightly with my ankles, the inside of my shin and my knees, then my lumbar can't rotate. Big inhale, turn the other direction. If you haven't noticed, I'm not as flexible going to my left as I am to my right. Then always look behind you when you turn. I'll show you what it looks like from the front. Squeeze right here, nice and tight. These should not be fast reps. We're going for quality over quantity. I'm breathing in through my nose and out through my mouth. And my goal really with every single rep is to get a little bit further rotated the next time from the last time. So your thoracic spine or your T-spine is meant not only to go east to west, but it also needs to be able to rotate north and south. So after you've done your east to west, you're going to take a break, come back to center, and now you're going to look up, up, up. And yes, you're still squeezing this. Remember, try to get as long as you can. Look. Reach. And as you're reaching up and you're reaching down, I'm thinking that I'm trying to put this hand through the ceiling and this hand down here through the floor. You gotta keep squeezing this though. This is the #1 determining factor as to whether or not these exercises are gonna be effective for you. Because as soon as you let that go, you let your lumbar start to assist your T-spine, and we don't want that. Just keep doing those. Look up. Remember, reach, 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 really push out both sides. Reach up to the ceiling and down to the floor. Now that's how you can start with T-spine rotation sitting in a chair. Now I'm going to show you how you can do this on the floor. I'm going to scooch all the way next to this. I'm going to make sure that my armpit is right here. Put my pillow in place. All right, so my body's all the way up against here. Now I'm going to turn until I can take this leg and rest it on this bench. This arm is open to a T, and so is this. Okay? I'm just taking a couple deep breaths in through my nose, out through my mouth. Now, what you might not be able to notice is that my right shoulder is almost touching the floor because I do my T-spine mobility exercises pretty religiously. Yours may not be off of the mat, but that's okay. The key to this being effective is once again immobilizing the lumbar, and that's what this does. So having your leg on this immobilizes your lumbar. You're going to take a deep breath in through your nose while this arm comes over here. Okay, so inhale, exhale. Your goal would be to have both shoulders touching the floor, okay? And again, it's okay if you don't have that mobility yet. But again, I can't stress enough that this being supported on this surface is the key to opening your T-spine because you're immobilizing your lumbar down here, okay? So inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And just like we did when we were in the seat, you want to get as long as you can over here and as long as you can over here. So really reach both sides. Okay, just keep breathing. And just try to touch both sides of the room with your open hands. So your palms are open like this, okay? And they're always facing up. All right? See this arm over here now, a little bit better, right? Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Stay up against this, right? Keep this nice and firm against your body. Because as soon as you start to come away from it, look what happens. I can touch the floor now with my shoulder, but now this is off. So now my lumbar is helping me. I don't want my lumbar to help. Okay, so hug this, right? And while you're pulling this way, you're also hugging this with this leg. Just like you were hugging it when you were in that seat. Okay? The other way that you want to do this is when you're at the cross, you're going to turn your palm down and slide it across the floor like you're putting money in your pocket. You're going to slide this back up, palm up, and then reach this way. So my mobility is not as good here as it is here, and that's okay. You want to keep practicing that. So palm down, tuck it into your pocket, get to the cross, turn your palm up, reach over your head. And now my shoulder comes up because I'm not very mobile in that plane of motion. That's why we keep practicing. Okay? I'm going to switch sides. And I'm going to leave this recording so you can see how I set this up. Slide this way. Here's my pillow. Okay, my armpit is right here, right on the corner of this bench, and I've reached out right here, okay? Now this leg comes over, well, this arm is open. So you can't see this, but I'm definitely less flexible on this side of my body, okay? So this shoulder is not up. Continue to work on that opposite side now. Usually we always start on the side that we feel more flexible with, right? So this is my least flexible side. So again, I'm having a nice relationship here with my bench. Palm is open and facing up. And I'm getting really long here, right? I'm trying to touch both sides of the room. I'm gonna inhale through my nose. And it's okay too to rotate that head a little bit from side to side. Okay. Just keep getting really long. Remember, we want to turn the palm down and tuck it in our pocket. And when we get to that cross, you're going to turn the palm back up towards the ceiling and reach. And try to touch this side of the gym here. Come on back. As soon as you get to the cross, turn that palm down. Tuck it in your pocket. You really want to try to show off. You can start to try to touch your foot. And I'm not getting a cramp, so I'm not going to do that anymore. So I'm touching my foot here and just breathing. And then when I have a cramp, I release it. Okay, so there's how you can start practicing your T-spine rotation from the floor with your lumbar support. And there's a third way that you can practice this on the floor. You're going to get in the quadruped position right here. I don't know if you can see this, but my ankles are hooked underneath here. So if you look through there, my ankles are touching. That's another way that I can immobilize the lumbar, right? So I'm going to take this hand and reach. And I'm going to reach underneath this way. Sweep. Reach. And sweep. I'll show you how it looks from the other side. The reason I'm showing this last is because this would be more advanced only after you've done some really good T-spine mobilization in your seat and on the floor. Because this is the least isolated lumbar position that you can have. So don't start with this one. Finish with this one maybe a couple weeks after you've practiced the other two in the chair and on the floor. Reach through and extend. Reach through and extend. And there are 3 ways that you can practice T-spine mobility.